I'm looking to find the best fish and chip shop in Great Britain.
They're the ones.
Cardboard box had slightly more taste.
That is a challenging colour. How can you get it so wrong?
George agreed. This place gets a lot of social media coverage. We're here today to see what it's all about. Let's dig in. Steel David. We's posh folk. I've got a trusty blue.
Well, I've come well armed.
Actually illegal now, these, but don't tell
It's
us.
contraband, that is, isn't it?
Yeah.
The fork police will be all over you.
So,
is this had it?
yeah, they just said fish and chips. I did ask a member of staff and they said it's had it, they'll be getting.
It's quite watery. You still don't get the whole dark fish and chips.
Let's try a bit back. The fish is tasty.
Well, it sounds good.
It's really tasty.
If you take that off there, we've got huge amounts of water in there.
It's very soggy.
We've got raw batter on the bottom of it that's uncooked. Which is a bit of a disappointment, really, because I was expecting great things. I'm going to try one of the chips.
I'll have a little bit more of fish, quite enjoyed it. I like the batter.
The top batter's fine, I wouldn't eat bottom.
I think for me, it just tastes quite salty. Whether that's because I put a bit too much salt in, but I didn't think I did.
It's got a very dark flavour to that batter. It's got a very heavy oil flavour, which I'm not getting. I'm not seeing the bent in that at all.
Obviously cooked in beef dripping. Getting to these chips now. From what I saw, it looked as though they're twice cooked, maybe three, but there were chips that were sat there waiting to be blanched. They're not very dark, and they are quite,
Very firm.
yeah, quite soggy as well. You see there's quite a lot of black in them, but quite greasy. But to me, they're undercooked. I tend to agree, they are undercooked.
I'm going to go with the peas. That is a challenging colour for me.
Yeah.
It's not the worst I've seen, but that is an awful lot of green in there. There we go.
Yeah, chips could do with another minute. But I don't know what colour they'd be if they had another minute. It could be.
They're okay. They're not the best peas I've ever had, but they're not the worst.
Oh, so I'll try these. Again,
If you want more seasoning,
they're that sort of colour, because the additives that they put into it.
there's a product called pea green.
Yeah, pea green, fill that in and it turns them. I've seen them where they actually look luminous.
Yeah,
so,
you could have seen the dark one, couldn't you? But yeah, they're like a reasonable colour.
Yeah, nice consistency.
They're probably a little too green for me. There's a bit too much additive in there. They're under-seasoned. I always think that they should add something to the meal, and these just don't.
Yeah,
If I didn't have them, I wouldn't be bothered about it.
yeah. I agree with you. I think they need a little bit more seasoning.
Yeah.
Cook
Yeah.
nicely, nice and mushy.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just our opinion. Obviously, fish and chips is based on opinion. Our opinion. People love these fish and chips. It reminds me of a fish and chip shop I used to be at school a long time ago. Didn't have a name. The two guys that owned it were called Jeff, so we called it Chippy Jeff. And all these products are really dark.
I think that's where this shop belongs, to be honest.
Yeah.
In the past, I'm not getting it.
No.
I don't get it.
So we fry beef dripping, but we don't seem to get this really oily look on us chips. If you look, they are quite greasy. Yeah, everyone's different, but won't be my weekly treat.
There's nothing that would drag me here, particularly. Georgia Green. I was a bit disappointed, actually. I was expecting great things. Do you want to go through your score?
Yeah, a little bit disappointed.
I think you have to work very hard to make your batter and your oil that dark. I think that is it's their look and their feel.
100%.
And some people do love it, but
Yeah.
I don't get it.
No.
I don't get it.
I get that, but on the same token, I think that obviously they've got a USP.
Yeah, they're very busy.
They're very busy.
Yeah.
Not one cat fits all. We're looking at it from two professional fryers' side, and we make sure that we want ours like we want it, so that theirs they want it. Really looking forward to going there. I see so much positivity.
I don't get the concept of the really dark,
No, I get
the
that.
dark fry-on things.
It's a rarity. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's not. We've, as an industry, done a lot of work on not doing that because there's a problem though, as an industry with a thing called acrylamide, which is the carbon that builds up, the chemical that builds up with carbon. We're trying to get us away from doing really dark cooking, so everything has to be light and golden and keeping those things low because it can lead to health problems. Do you want to score it?
Yeah, I'd love to score it.
Yeah, start with fish.
Fish, I'm going to give it 3.5. The reason I'm going to give it 3.5 is because I thought it was cooked to perfection, really.
Yeah.
The actual fish, it was cooked nice. And it tasted really nice.
Yeah, it was a good taste.
Yeah. So, again, the batter, it was nice. It was all right. I agree with what you're saying. I don't know why you do get that dark flavour, don't you?
I think you have to work very hard to make it that.
Yeah, you've got to work hard to make it that colour. So I think overall, batter was crispy at the top, little bit soggy underneath, but you're going to get that. So I'm going to get a 3.5 for fish.
I give it a 3. It's just too dark for me. Yeah.
So it was just the aesthetics of it.
Aesthetics, and I just think that really dark batter got very dark, a very oily burnt taste in the batter, which I really don't think is pleasant for me to eat.
Yeah.
I got a 3. Chips?
Yeah,
They were
Well, challenge.
They were.
Yeah.
Mine were under. Yeah, they were undercooked. It's very dark.
Aesthetically, they weren't pleasing.
They didn't taste great. I gave them a 2.
I think I'm going to echo that. I definitely think it was a 2. They were undercooked. I'm going to change my score. Just give it a 1. I understand why people like it.
Wouldn't mind them being that dark if they were cooked through. We had some raw ones in the middle that were really well undercooked.
And then you look disappointed. I was so
You were building up to it.
I was so looking forward to it. I was so looking forward having going back to childhood where we all
Yeah,
should.
but sometimes you just shouldn't go back down memory lane.
No,
Things live in the past because that's where they deserve to belong. Rickets, tuberculosis, pestilence. In the 70s, in a Barnes and mining town.
Yeah,
Desperation.
poverty.
Yeah. Things that you just want to leave in the 70s.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
don't want
I
to
get
bring them
that.
with you. Yeah, we know more now. Peas.
These, a little bit too green.
Middle of
for
the
me.
road at 3. Very down the middle of the road for me.
Yeah, I'll probably get a 3. Just too green. And again, that's preference. People like it.
I like mine to be nicely seasoned with a very natural flavour.
Yeah.
You have to let you need to let the food sing.
Yeah.
It's like Mother Nature's got the most beautiful palette. You just need to bring it out, not dump a load of colouring into it to make it look like what you think you should be. But again, a very old-fashioned way of doing peas is dumping a load of pea green into it.
There's better products on the market now.
The vibe, I felt a little bit awkward in that show. I think he knew people who were in there. There seemed to be a lot of regulars in his queue, and he was talking to them about going on holiday, which is lovely. But I just felt like we got in there, we said, "Do you want fish?" And then that's where we stood.
Yeah.
We didn't I would have started taking orders. We'd take the order, pay for it, get a receipt, get a ticket. And the other thing is, I can't let this one go. It's cash only. And whatever you think about that is whatever you think about that. The idea being, I think in business is you've got to get people the options to pay however they want. If they want to pay with card, accept card. If they want to pay cash, you could pay by bank transfer, clunky. Don't know why you would bother with that even if you don't have cash on you. I thought they don't want to let a customer go out the door without paying. You've got to put as little friction in the way of your customer as possible. If I could accept cryptos now, today I would. If that's what people want to pay, I'll take it. I just find it very odd that you've got to turn up with cash. Some people don't carry cash, and especially the millennials, Gen Z, they want to pay everything on the phone. They don't want to carry cash. They don't want to be involved. You're maybe not talking to that generation because they don't want to go in there and have really dark food. I don't know. It seemed to be take your order and stand there. There was no hello. No, there was no goodbye. There was no thank you. It was just like, do you want fish? The place looked a little tired.
Got a lovely frontage. I thought they'd done really
Very
well.
impressive, yeah. And then we sat in and ate it with some benches on the side, which there was a tobacco bag flapping and squashed. Sweep up. If you're gonna have people eating out in your yard, sweep it at night. It's part of your business. It's part of vibes. So I've got the vibe. I say I felt a little bit uncomfortable. I'm just giving it a 2, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I'll get the vibe of 2. I think I know where you're coming from. It did feel a bit awkward. Quite a lot of staff waiting for things, and they could have maybe engaged in a bit of conversation.
Would you go back?
No, me neither. I want to find the best fish and chip shop in Great Britain.
They're the ones. Cardboard box had slightly more taste.
That is a challenging colour. How can you get it so wrong?